So, welcome everyone to Your Best Life Starts Today. I'm so happy that you're here. And if you're watching this as a replay, I'm happy that you are watching it as a replay as well. So, what we're going to do in this next hour is we are going to set and up your goals and set you up to win in this next hour. So, we're going to do some work, but work is really important. Planning is really important. I'm reading this book right now. It's called Winning, and it has a section about Kobe Bryant. And Kobe Bryant, just in case you don't know who he is, he's a basketball player. He was a basketball player. He's now deceased, but he used to get up every day at 4 o'clock in the morning, and he would be at the gym by 4 o'clock in the morning, and he was constantly shooting free throws and working on every single shot that he missed before. And he had this mindset of persist until you succeed. And that is something that I want every single one of you to have. Persist until you succeed. So, all right. So let's go ahead and get started. And I want everybody to play full out. If you are in the live Zoom, I want you to make sure you have your camera on. And if you're listening, again, just play full out as if you're actually here. So I want to go over the first section, and you should have a vision blueprint that you have downloaded. And this whole thing is going to be divided into sections, but we're not going to go over every single section. We are going to spend some time, however, on certain sections just to make sure that if nothing else, you have one goal set up and that you have all the pieces that you need for that one goal. And then hopefully by the time this hour is done, you'll have more than one goal with all the pieces that you need to get started. Like I said, to win this next year, because why? Because your best year starts today. All right. So, and if you see me looking down, is because I'm looking at my notes because I don't want to miss anything. So let's start with the principles of goal setting. So the first one is only you can make this happen. You have control. You are in control. No one else is in control. You are in control. And you have to rely on yourself. There's not going to be any knight in shining armor that's going to come rescue you. There's not going to be anyone that's going to do this for you. You have to do the work. The work that you do in private lets you celebrate in public. And I'm going to tell you a little trick that I use. So in my phone, I have set an alarm that goes off at 8 o'clock every day. I have actually multiple alarms that go off every day, but this particular alarm, I have a message in there to myself that is all on you. That's my message. So, and what that means to me is, I have to make this happen. It's all about me making my goals, the things that I set up for this year, both personal and business goals. It's all on me. So it's a reminder to me of, every single day. It's like I'm tickling myself going, hey, don't forget, it's all on you. So just a little trick. You can do other ones as well. I have one that says, solve bigger problems. I think that one goes off at 2 o'clock or something like that. Solve bigger problems. And we can talk about that when we get a little bit further when it comes to the goals and maybe talking about business. All right. Number 2, audit your inner circle. So that is so important to know who you spend time with, because when you're setting up these goals, and they can be really lofty, you don't want somebody saying to you, hey, this is something that you're never going to be able to do. You don't want those people around you. You don't want the negative Nellies around you. Jim Rohn said that You are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So audit your inner circle. Have it be people that are go-getters, if you want to really accomplish things, people that make you happy, just think about your inner circle. Okay, next, where are you now? So you have to know your starting point to figure out all the steps that it's going to take to get to your end point that you want. And it's not about looking at it and looking at something saying, oh gosh, this is really negative. This is, I'm not happy where I am. It's not any of that. It's just figuring out exactly where you are. And we're going to spend a little bit of time on that one. All right, next one. Do not limit yourself for this exercise and moving forward. And like I said, these are things that not only are they helpful in setting goals, but these are things that you need to really try to master in the next 12 months. So when I said don't limit yourself, I want you to live in infinite possibilities every single day, because there's going to be times when things are not going to go right, and maybe you're trying to do a business and things are just not working. Well, instead of going, okay, throwing your hands up, oh, I'm not doing this, you have to start thinking about infinite possibilities and be resourceful. What else can I do? What else can I try? Who can I talk to? So it's always about living in those infinite possibilities. All right. The next one, be bold. Because in this day and age in business, if you are not bold, you're going to get lost. And in your personal life, be bold in your personal life too. If you're dating, or if you want to date someone, I was talking to somebody the other day and they're like, I want to be in a relationship, but they're scared to death to ask girls out to date. And I'm like, okay, you need to be bold. You need to put yourself out there, because without that, you're never going to get a girlfriend. So always be bold. Always be bold, whether in your personal life or in your business life. Another one that I really, actually, let me do this one first. Do things imperfectly. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for things to be perfect. You don't have to wait to, I'm going to set my goal up when, I am, sitting by my desk and I have the perfect paper and I have all these things. No, you don't need to do that. And the same thing goes for life. Do things imperfectly. Go out there, be vulnerable, because a lot of times, quite frankly, whether it's business or personal, the imperfect part of you, the imperfect thing that you do, is what attracts other people. All right, next one of my favorites, focus on the solution. This is really great for goals. Focus on the solution. What is it that you want? And focus on that solution, and it'll help you think about all the different parts that you need to do to get to your solution. All right. And the biggest thing is commit to making it happen. I know I mentioned a little bit earlier that Kobe Bryant, he persisted until he succeeded. I want you to have a mantra that says, I will persist until I succeed. So I will persist until I succeed. That's something, quite frankly, you could put as an alarm on your phone. Maybe it's what wakes you up in the morning. If you get up at 5 or 6 or 7 in the morning, have that be your alarm, and it has the little message on it. I will persist until I succeed. All right, like I said, commit to making it happen. So I have a little tip on this. It's something that I have always used, and it's actually one of the biggest things that has made me successful. It is setting up non-negotiables. So when you set up your goals, you set it up as a non-negotiable. So what's a non-negotiable? A non-negotiable is almost like drawing a red line. It is like a stop sign. It's like putting your hand out, going, I am going to do this no matter what. And that's what a non-negotiable. And you can set up small non-negotiables, you can set up large non-negotiables. So the small non-negotiable could be like, let's say you have a goal to make let's just pull one out there, $1 million this year. Well, you can have a small non-negotiable as this week I'm going to make $1,000. I'm going to make $10,000. That's my non-negotiable. I'm going to do whatever it takes to reach that goal, or whatever small piece of a goal you can actually use as a non-negotiable. So again, think about a non-negotiable as a commitment. So when you make a commitment and you to a client, or you make a commitment to someone else, think about that. If you break that commitment, how will they feel? Like, let's say, hey, I'm going to pick you. Let's say you're dating someone and you say, I'm going to pick you up at 7 o'clock today. And then you just don't show up. You didn't fulfill your commitment. How is that other person going to feel? Not very good, right? So when you make something a non-negotiable, it's a commitment, it's a contract to yourself. When you break your non-negotiable, you're breaking a contract with yourself. So how can you trust that you're going to be able to move forward if you're continually breaking contracts with yourself? So that's part of the mindset, is making it a non-negotiable every single time. Okay, so I had mentioned a little bit before when I was talking about the principles of setting goals, that where are you now is really important. So in the blueprint, where are you now is on, I think it's on page 2 or page 3. I'm going to drop this back into the chat again for anyone that may not have it, so that you have that. Okay, so if you look on the blueprint, the first one is talking about what happened this last year. And this is not to be negative again. This is to really kind of look, what were your accomplishments and what were your misses this year? So if you want to take, I'm going to set just a really quick timer, maybe to work on this. I'm going to have you work on the question 1. What accomplishments and misses did you have in this last year? And then number 2, what are important lessons that you learned? So I'm going to give you a little bit of time to work on that. And let's go ahead and get started on that. Think about some of the really great things that happened to you in this last year. And it happened for you. Was there something great that happened in your personal life that it was an accomplishment for you? Was there something that was this big accomplishment, or even a small accomplishment in business? Were you able to get some new clients? Did you start a new business? Did you, go live for the first time when you really struggled with public speaking? And then let's figure out some lessons. What did you learn? Like when you went live for the first time, when you were doing public speaking, you survived it, right? It probably wasn't as bad as you thought it would be. And you survived it. And now maybe you're going to do it again. or things in your personal life. What important lessons did you learn from that? I give you about another 30 seconds. Okay. Is everybody finishing up that one section? All right. So this is something that you can go back to. If you didn't have a chance to finish it, it's something that you can go back to. Because I bet you today there's going to be some things that popped in your mind. Oh, like, oh my gosh, that's right. I accomplished this. Things don't always have to be really big. They can be small wins as well, and they're just as important. All right, so let's go to the next page. Your why. Now, I love talking about this section because your why is your GPS. It is the backbone of every single goal that's out there. So it's really, really important for you to have your whys all, really, really strong. I was speaking with a client yesterday, and he was talking about something and how, that he wasn't able to accomplish something. And we started going over his goals, and it was just so apparent that he didn't really have his why sorted out. So when you have a why, it is something that it has an emotion attached to it. It has, emotions, feelings attached to it. And just think about it. If you didn't have a why, and I think I even have this example on here. Let's say you were blindfolded, and you had to, shoot an arrow into a bullseye. Would you be able to do it? No. Well, guess what? That bullseye is your why. That's the thing that is drawing you to do what it is that you want to do. Like, for example, let's go back to that example of, I want to make $1 million in this next year. Well, why do you want to make $1 million in this next year? Well, the answer could be something like, I want financial freedom. So then the next question comes. So why do you want financial freedom? Well, because the answer could be because I want more control over my life. And you think about that. Why do you want more control over your life? Well, I don't want anybody telling me what to do. All right. Why don't you want anybody telling you what to do? Well, because I just really want to choose my schedule, be my own boss, do my own things, and make everything completely on me. So you see how you start peeling the layers, right? You're peeling it from, this big kind of picture, and then you ask that question again, and it goes deeper, and then it goes deeper, and then it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. So that's what I want you to do with this. I want you to come up. Why don't we do this? Let's come up with a why that's related to business or finances, and come up with a why that's maybe related to your personal life. So both of those. So I'm going to give some time again. And I know this is probably not going to be enough time, but I'm trying to keep this within an hour or so. It's doable for everyone to do. But this is something that you can do over and over and over again. And it gets more refined as time goes by. And if you start feeling the emotion when you say your why, you've hit it. You have found your why. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start. Here we go. So think about your why. Why do you want to do, why do you want to have financial freedom? Why do you want to do, your whatever you think your mission is for your business? Why do you want to have a relationship? Why do you want to have 10 clients, 15 clients, 20 clients? Just start thinking, even before you come up with that goal, what your why is. If you think down deep, it's actually pretty easy to find your whys. And then the goals just pour off of that. We have about one more minute. I know I might be rushing this. I feel like I should be playing music. The next one, I'll play some music. Okay. So let's move on to the next section. So, what I'm going to have, like I had mentioned before, is I want you to live in infinite possibilities. And so, I want to talk about visualization. So, visualization is something that is really important when you set up your goals. And it helps you almost live in that infinite possibility as well. So I just want to talk to you about this. I'll tell you a story. Um, for me, like a personal experience for me. So when I actually used to do sales that were B2B, I had this really big contract that I wanted to get with a very, very large hospital system. And I knew it was going to take me some time. In my mind, I thought, it's going to take me 18 months to do, long time to do, because we're talking probably about 30 to 40 million dollars. It's going to take me a while to do this contract. Because at that time, I didn't really know anybody in the hospital system or anything that was going on in there. But I visualized, because a contract that size typically has to be signed by a CEO of a hospital system. So I visualized the CEO, what he looked like. I had not seen what he looked like, but I visualized what he looked like. I visualized what his office looked like, what his desk looked like, what he had on his desk. And then I visualized even the pen that he was going to be using to sign the contract. And I visualized him signing the contract. Well, about 10 months later, what happens? I'm in the office of the CEO, and he looks shockingly almost like what I had visualized. His office looked so much what I visualized. But what was the really thing that was telling to me was the pen that he used was the exact pen, exact color that I had visualized. Yes, I like that comment. Or maybe the CEO is a woman. Thank you, Beth. I love that. I love that. But yes, and it was a Mont Blanc maroon pen. exact same pen. But what was most important about the whole visualization was that as I was visualizing that every single day, all the steps that I needed to take started coming into place. It's almost like your mind, the subconscious in your mind just keeps on working. It keeps on, while you're sleeping, while you're, during the day, and it's helping you try to figure out all the different steps that you need to do and the people maybe that you even need to meet so that you can accomplish your goal. So visualization is really important. And we're actually going to do a visualization exercise in just a bit, but I want to skip over to the page. If you have your blueprint, I want you to skip over to the page where it says worksheet number 1. Worksheet number 1. So I want you to take some time. There's, I think, 3 or 4 sets of these worksheets in the blueprint. And I want you to take some time and I want you to write down your goals. If you have 3 goals, write down those 3 goals. So there's a blueprint for each goal. So we're going to spend a little bit of time and then we're going to do a visualization exercise with that. So just only fill in that very first section is what is a big goal you want to accomplish in your business. It doesn't have to be in your business, but my suggestion is have some in your business and maybe have a personal goal as well. So I am going to start the timer again. And here we go. Now, really, again, infinite possibilities, not finite possibilities. Think of big things. Remember in the beginning, I talked about being bold. Think of big things, big things. And for each one of those goals, see if you can leave a little bit of space in that. We're actually going to change this blueprint and give you a little bit more room in there. But see if you can leave a little bit of space in there so that you can fill in, when we do the visualization exercise, some more details. So go ahead, think of your big goals. Big goals. And if you have 3 of them already done, because you may have already known what they are, send me a chat and let me know. And if you want to volunteer a goal, feel free to put that in the chat too. You don't have to, but if you want to volunteer a goal, put it in the chat. I see one from Jean. Let's see here. You're done and free. So is your goal to be free? It says done and free. Okay. I could see you waving at me. That makes me laugh. All right. So let's give it another 30 seconds and then we are going to do a visualization exercise I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun with. I have to say visualization is once I figured out it really works, It's one of the things I really enjoy doing. And, there's that saying that, was it Wayne Dyer says, change your thoughts, change your life. It's the same thing. Visualization is, in essence, a thought. If you change what you visualize into something really empowering to you, and that's going to, get you excited every morning when you get up, it's going to change your life. And you have to really be careful about your thoughts of what you say. I remember a time when when I was younger, I lived in the Midwest where it was really, 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 really cold. And I remember saying to myself, because there was a big snowstorm in May, and I remember saying to myself, when I'm old enough, I'm going to live someplace where I can be in shorts year round. Well, I said that. Well, guess what? I lived 25 years in Florida after that. Same thing. I also said, I want to be able to be in a business suit with oops, there goes a timer, with a briefcase in my hand, jumping on these small little propeller planes. And sure enough, that's what I ended up doing. I did that a lot for years. So what you visualize is a thought. So change your thoughts and you'll change your life. All right. Okay. So let's look at these goals. So let's focus for this particular exercise. Let's just focus on one and pick the one that you, in your heart, you feel is the most important. All right. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think 12 months from now that you have achieved that goal. Think about every moment of it. Like, where are you? How does it feel? How, are you happy? Does it make you giddy? Does it, like, you're excited? You feel proud? Just think everything about it. You're in that room, like I was in that room. Contract was being signed. Where are you right now? Do you see it? If it's you want to make $1 million in the next year, do you see your bank account? When you open up your computer to look into your bank account, do you see the $1 million in there? Really visualize every single detail. If you're looking at your bank account, look at every single number. Look at how that bank statement looks like. Ground that feeling that you have, anchor that feeling that you have, like, oh my gosh, I have $1 million in the bank. Or, oh my gosh, I have 1,000 clients or 10 clients. Or, oh my gosh, I got this contract, or I found the love of my life, or whatever it is. Just feel it, everything about it. Are the colors bright? Are they dim? Who's in there with you? Everything about that. All right, I want you to open your eyes now. And we are going to write down, if you have any room underneath your goal, how did it feel? How did it feel? Everything about it. And what did you see? Take some time and really write down the details. What were the colors wherever you were looking? Was it hot? Was it cold? Where were you? Were there other people in the room with you? How did it affect other people? Did you help other people reach their goals? Did you do something that helped provided value that just gave you such a good feeling? And you're just proud of it. Yeah, everything that you can think of, just almost like a brain dump of that vision that you have. You should have a big smile on your face because you worked really hard to get there, right? You worked really hard. In when you're visualizing that, everything, all the small steps that you had taken, all those small steps led you to that point. Okay. So, what I want you to do when we're all done is I want you to do the other goals that you have. I want you to go through the exact same exercise. Put a timer. I see a message from Beth. That's okay. I know you got to jump off. I think we're getting pretty close almost to an hour, but not quite. But yes, so go through that same exercise and go through the visualization. You'd be surprised. Any time that you have a moment where you're like, oh, I just can't do this, go back into that. Go visualize it. Go see it. See the end. All right. So now the next part is commit to making your goal happen. So what must you do to make it happen? So you know what the end result is. You visualized it. So what are some of the things that you're going to commit to making it happen? Let's say, for example, you want to get 50 clients by the end of the year. Let's just use that number. So a couple things. And you have to, and you feel like you're not a good salesperson. That's just something, you have to master sales. You have to master it. Instead of thinking you're not good about it, what if you came up and you asked yourself a question every day of, what if I was an absolutely amazing salesperson? What if I was this amazing salesperson? Okay, so what do I need to do to be an amazing salesperson? Okay, that's a smaller step to get to those 50 clients. What if you want to do public speaking as your goal? You can ask yourself that same question. What would I need to do? Or what if I'm like this amazing speaker? What would I need to do to become an amazing speaker? Same thing. If you want to have 50 clients at the end, another question could be, what do I need to put in place to attract those clients? I'm committed to doing a live every week. I'm committed to doing, 10 people, meeting with 10 people every week. If it's public speaking, I'm committed to doing a word exercise every single day. That I take a word and I just do a presentation over that one word without planning it, just doing it. If it's a salesperson, being an amazing salesperson, I'm committing to learning, about being an amazing salesperson. What do I need to provide value? How much value do I need to provide? How do I get a relationship with these people? What are the steps of getting a relationship with these people? So I'm going to commit to having relationships with 10 clients a month. Then the next month, I'm going to commit to having another 10 people that I have relationships that they potentially could become clients. So what are you willing to do to make it happen? Make it as specific as possible. So if you want to make $1 million in a year, what do you have to do every month, every day to make it happen? I'll give you a little bit of a trick as far as this goes. When eventually you get to the point, and I have some sheets in here that you can write your goals out and post them, you look at those goals every single day and you say, what is that one thing that I can do today to move closer to my goal? What's that one thing that I can do today to move this forward? And then that way it helps you, especially if you have visualized the end, it helps you go, okay, if I need to get the CEO to sign this contract, I need to gather a lot of information and I need to start meeting with whomever, the Department of Engineering, the healthcare professionals, whomever it might be. I need to start meeting all these people. So all those little pieces start falling into place. All right. So let's move on to the next section. All right. The next one is timeline, which is so important. So I know what we started off with was goals for 12 months. However, you can make a goal any time that you want. You can make that timeline 6 months. You can make it 3 months. You can even make, when you're looking at your big goal and you say, hey, what's that one thing I can do today to move things forward? And you figure out what it is. And what you do is you can say, okay, I'm making that my goal today. And it's my non-negotiable. So that's a really short timeline. Sometimes the shorter the timeline, the easier it is to accomplish. So when you have a goal, you say, I want to make $1 million in a year, that's 12 months. Well, maybe today I don't feel like doing any of that work. Maybe today I don't feel like contacting customers or potential customers because I have a whole 12 months. You could get lost when it's a really long timeline. So my suggestion is, let's say you have a 12-month goal, chop it in half and say, okay, I'm going to make that my 6-month goal instead. I'm going to make $1 million in 6 months. So you have less time, less freedom to go away from the direction you need to be to reach your goal. So on that one goal that we worked on, what's the timeline? I want you to take about 30 seconds, figure that out, and I want you to write that down. I can see the wheels turning. That's great. All right, a few more seconds. Figure out your timeline. And you can work on the other sections if you haven't done it. What are you willing to do to make it happen and make it a non-negotiable? Few more seconds. Okay. All right. So the last section here is results. So this is something that you can use to, as you're working towards your goal. I want you to look every single day for results. So look for the little things. When you are looking at a goal of, I want to make $1 million in a year, that's pretty daunting, right? It is. That's pretty daunting. But if you break it down into small little chunks, and then today, maybe as your results, you contacted 10 customers or 10 people, or you started a new marketing campaign, or you did a social post, or you went live today. Or if it's a personal one, There's so many different things it can be for a personal one. So I want you to think about every single day, what are some results? Because if you constantly look at what's the one thing that I can do to move this forward, and then what are my results? And not being judgmental on the results, but just saying, these are my results. I called 20 people and got a hold of only 10 or something like that. But that's still great because you got 10 and you had made 10 as your non-negotiable. So one thing that you wanted to do today. So that was really a great thing. And your results were, you got in touch with 50% of them, which is amazing, really amazing. But always constantly be looking at your results. And then the way to keep this all top of mind is at the very end of the workbook, there are some sheets that you can fill in your goals. So big goal number 1, you can fill that in. And then make sure that you put a timeline to be completed by when. So I know you have one goal in place right now, so make sure that you are filling that in. And then when we're all done, I want you to go ahead and do the rest of them as well. All right. So now that you have at least one of these filled out, what is really important for you to do? I need you to post it in a place that you are going to see it every single day. So if you have an office, I want you, and your computer faces in a certain direction, I want you to post it literally right in front of you so that you can see it every single day. And if you want to make multiple copies of this and post it on your bathroom mirror, wherever it's really important. And as I mentioned in the beginning too, that I set alarms on my phone with different reminders of like, hey, it's all on you, and, solve bigger problems today. You can do the exact same thing with your goals. You can set a reminder at a certain time. Look at goal. You can either look at goal number 1, or, look at your goals, or you can say, let's say your big goal is make $1 million in a year. Set your alarm and say, today I'm moving forward to make $1 million this year, so that you see it every day. It has to be in the forefront so that you can see it every single day. And remember what I said earlier is what you do in private, the work that you do in private, you celebrate in public. So all of this work you're going to do, setting up your goals, all the steps, and every day looking at it, what's the one thing that I can do to move my business forward? One thing that I can do to move my dating life forward? Whatever it is, your goals, you can celebrate you celebrate those things. Like when you reach it, you celebrate them, and you can celebrate them in private or in public. And I remember the other thing that I brought up in the beginning as well, have that mantra, I am going to persist until I succeed. So I dropped into the chat my calendar. If anyone would like to go ahead and book a free call with me. We can go over your goals, or I can answer any questions that you may have about sales or business strategy. It's in the chat. And I'm going to open this up to see if anyone has any questions. So if you have any questions, unmute yourself. And any questions at all? Comments?
No.
No. Okay, that's great.
It was so well done and easy to follow. You just can't miss it.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate
That's
that.
great. Yes, really great.
I really appreciate that.
Yes, and there was in my goals, I have a tendency always to forget something, but now I include something. It's the money
Oh, there. Yes, that's so important.
that I have 3 goals, but now I add another one. That's the 4th one. I
Okay.
do the first 3 and oriented result, and then I just add this goal and oriented result 2 with $sign.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's really fantastic. I tell you what, if you want to hang just for a few minutes, let me end this portion of this, and then you and I can work on that a little bit. Since you volunteered, I'll work with you on your money goal as well. So thank you to everyone that watched this live and in the replay. And feel free to reach out to me anytime.